All right. Should be live now. Um, Thank you, everybody who's showing up for this. This is the long-awaited, long-rumored Will of the Many discussion. That
Oh
I
yeah.
think we read this back in like May, I think for the most part, right? May, June.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, June.
I want to give a quick shout out to Jimmy Nuts here on the front end here because he read this along with us, and scheduling was just so crazy we couldn't quite make it happen. He finally was just like, guys, just get it done. So Jimmy's here with us in spirit. If anyone wants to hear his thoughts, he did talk about it on his channel a little bit 6 months ago when we all read this, but which I recommend. It was fun to listen to his thoughts. But here we are, and we're going to see how much of this book we remember as we
that's it. That's the key.
dive in.
Yeah. Will it stand the test of time?
Yes. I remember not every name, but I remember a lot of the things that stood out to me.
Yeah.
I think that'll be good enough anyway. So I figure we start. Hopefully I don't trash it too hard. Yeah, Chance is responsible for the perception that I hated this book.
I don't think it's a perception. I mean, it's just sort of what people think.
I think it has way more to do with you ripping your shirt off, running outside, and screaming, "I hate this book."
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think that's what led us all to believe.
You held it up like this. I hate this book.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be. That makes sense. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, your true shelf is here. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but they're here. That's awesome.
Thanks.
I was waiting for the long live stream. Well, you're in the right live stream now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
So I vote we go spoiler free for a little bit here in the beginning, and then
Yes,
we'll kind
sir.
of dive into some spoilers there. as
On
we
board.
get in. I think what is an interesting place to start is maybe what were our expectations coming into reading this, because I know I had some expectations.
Same.
So I guess we can maybe kind of go around the horn here, and I'll just go in the order that my screens are in. So, Chance, you're the lucky winner. Do you want to go
Sweet.
first?
Yeah, I'll rock it. Yeah, I mean, my expectations, other than it being an exceptional book, and it being Roman Empire related and the hierarchy of I felt like the hierarchy aspect was going to be a little bit more apparent in the forefront. Just generally speaking, I don't want to get into spoilers right now. So, but how it shows up, I was pleasantly surprised by. Just in terms of, I think it's been explained spoiler free, just how the society works in terms of, I forgot what it's called now, but like giving your will to those above you.
Yeah. Seating, I think.
Seating. Yeah, there you go. So I think that's been expressed in spoiler free conversation just fine. I think I initially had a concept in my head of how that was going to show up, which was completely taken out, which is not a bad thing. I think that's fine. But yeah, my expectations were not as high as yours, and I was definitely less disappointed than you were with how much you hated this book.
John, you're next.
You know what? I think I was very much close to you, Jake. I had, I spend a fair amount of time here on BookTube with my peers and friends, and I had watched enough feedback and reviews and things of people saying, "Oh, it's my favorite book of the year. It's like a bold new direction of epic fantasy." I think I went in with very, very high expectations, and from some booktubers that I like. Oh, wow, this is going to be great. So I went in with I think I knew about as much as Chance said. Like, I knew about it was the magic system was based on will and others giving their will up to the empowered ones. I think that was the full amount of what I knew, what I was getting into. So my expectations were, I have to admit, they were quite high when I picked this up. I was expecting a great book of the year material from what I had heard.
Yeah, for sure. And Philip, I guess you're next.
So in terms of what I was expecting, you'd have to have been somehow missing months of videos to not realize how popular this book was with a lot of people. For a lot of people, it was a book of the year thing, but I often don't find myself necessarily in alignment with really popular books. So I tried to keep my expectations tempered somewhat, and I'm glad I did, because I actually enjoyed the read a lot. I think this is a very good book, and I enjoyed how well the author handled the wizard school, the orphan goes to wizard school trope.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I really appreciate about is it Islington? Is that how you pronounce the name?
I think so.
Think
I've
so?
seen Islington. I've seen Islington. I said Islington in all my weekly updates, and I probably was wrong.
So going on the theory that Chance is wrong.
Yeah.
Which is most likely.
Safe assumption.
All of our chips go right there.
So we'll go with Islington. Someone in the chat can help us, I'm sure. But anyway, I respect how in the not in the acknowledgments, but in the back, the little blurb about the author, it mentions Patrick Rothfuss as a major influence, and that seemed evident to me.
Absolutely.
The way this trope was handled here, which, by the way, I think that's I'm definitely not somebody who thinks trope is a dirty word here. So I hope nobody gets that impression. I like the way he handled it. He gave it his own wrinkle. He by giving it a Roman-inspired setting, and he certainly introduced his own twists. A lot of the things are familiar, which I will talk about, I'm sure, in the spoiler parts. But the things that usually go with the magic school trope, a lot of those appear in here, and that's fine with me. I think he handled those things really well. So overall, I liked this book. Would it be like book of the year? No, it wouldn't be that for me. But I really did like it, and I do plan to read the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I echo a lot of what you guys said, especially coming in with all of everybody talking about how incredible it was. I had very high expectations, and I did really like it. I know we're going to put it to bed. I did really like it. I promise I
How
did.
much did you like it?
I don't know.
I did have some stuff, and we're going to get into it. I did have a couple
Can't wait.
things that got me a little bit.
Oh boy.
I will. I'm feeling the itch already. I'm going to explode. No, I'm kidding. I will say one thing I didn't expect was I kind of had this, I don't know if this was just me, but I kind of had this struggle the whole way through of, I also really like the tropes and I really like magic school. I didn't know there was going to be a magic school thing, but
Yeah.
I thought
I
it was
didn't
great.
either.
Yeah, I thought it was great. What I didn't expect was for large portions of this to feel pretty YA to me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It was just sort of like this tonal shift that I kept I almost didn't know where we were at on that spectrum. And so like some of the darker, heavier stuff, I was almost like, whoa, this kind of came out of nowhere. But then I get into that vibe and some of the less of that stuff, I was just like, really? I had that reaction a couple of times. Was that just me? Was I the weird one?
No, I actually felt that too. That it and it's because of that trope of the orphan goes to magic school. I think that automatically makes it feel more YA in a way, but then there were parts of it that were much more violent. And I think there's a fairly sophisticated in introduction of some themes in here, like the idea of will, being an important thing, and seeding, all that, and the will of people. Our will to be alive, our influence in the world, and that kind of thing, along with this bigger backdrop of an imperialistic, acquisitive power that is stomping all over people, and what that does to both the oppressed and the oppressors. So that's stuff that I did like. So it did feel a little weird to me to have the sort of interesting exploration there alongside what feels oftentimes a little more YA. And again, like you, Jake, I don't think YA is a bad thing. It's just, did this want to be YA, or did it want to be a little more adult? And with the level of violence, maybe it felt more adult, but with the whole trope that it was engaging with, at times it did feel very YA to me too. I don't know about you guys, Chance and John, but
yeah, I felt that same way. It didn't take anything away from the story for me per se. I got a lot of echoes of Red Rising in this as well, like the first Red Rising book.
Yeah.
Which is again not a bad thing. I personally, I finished the original trilogy of Red Rising plus one book, and the reason I'm saying that is because I initially didn't enjoy Red Rising. I think it just didn't hit a chord for me. The first book for some reason. This book, I think I was a little bit more hooked. I think I liked Viz's voice a little bit more than I liked Arrow's in the first book of Red Rising, which probably is not a popular opinion. But yeah, the YA stuff didn't really bug me so much, and maybe it's because I don't have too much YA behind me that it didn't really bother me. But yeah, I think it did want to be an adult book for sure.
Yeah, but I did feel, when you have so many of your main characters that you're following are school aged,
Yeah.
for me, and I think that was, and I didn't know that going in. I didn't know it was a Wizarding Academy kind of story, or we were going to leap off from that point into this world. Sometimes that works for me. Sometimes it doesn't. I think I have enough gray up here that sometimes I have a hard time going back to the school days and connecting or attaching myself to characters because it's just been a long time. Now there are some series that do. I think Harry Potter is just pure magic for me. Name of the Wind absolutely works because I'm such a sucker for the framing narrative. So but I mean, this one, there were times when that youthful aspect of the story, because of so many of our characters were school aged and starting their journey to find their way and who they are and how they fit into this world. Not a little bit tougher for me to attach to, but then I did enjoy the book. Let me say how much I enjoyed the book. By the end, I've enjoyed the book so much I pre-ordered a signed copy of the second book. So I can't say I didn't enjoy the book. I can't say after I closed the book I went, where is book 2? Because I did have all of that. I think the execution was extremely high on some of these tropes that just don't always work for me. And when we get into spoilers, I'll tell you when things flipped for me and they did start working. But I do see that kind of dichotomy of tones going on because of the school age and the world. But what did work for me is like, and I mean, we're not doing any spoilers here. I mean, I think it's these very first pages show the stratification of the society, and that, that kind of stuff I found fascinating, and I love the way the magic system worked, and I love the politics of it, and I love that darkness of how Dr. Chase was saying, the toll it takes on the oppressors and the oppressed. So much of it worked for me. The YA, the Dark Academy, some of the school days moments, I had a little bit harder time connecting with. But absolutely did. The execution, even for those that I didn't connect with, I can't say is not extremely well done.
Yeah.
Totally. And I'm glad you brought up Harry Potter too. I got a lot of Harry Potter vibes from this.
I did too.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things, right? It just wasn't the opening section of this book to me did not tell me I was going to get Harry Potter, right? I thought I was going to be a lot darker and a lot heavier the whole way through.
I actually think the closest is Name of the Wind. The first person narration, the ways in which the protagonist overcomes things, and somehow it felt a little bit like Kvothe, the way he would pull through somehow or other, and other factors.
There's never a chance he's going to lose. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. There was, although I will say that I like this better than Kvothe, because Kvothe to me is a bit full of himself.
Can't go with you there.
This is a little bit humbler. So he didn't grate on me the way Kvothe sometimes does. Although I do like Name of the Wind. I'm not trying to disparage it here. So yeah. Sorry.
I got another rumor to start.
Well, he already hates Dandelion Dynasty, right?
I wouldn't use the word hate.
I did not know Dr. Chase was going to come on here and say Rothfuss is a pretender, Islington's the real deal. Did not see that coming.
Hey, I didn't say it.
But having said all that, I will say that Islington does distinguish himself with the story, particularly with the setting and some of the other things. The twists he gives some of these tropes, and I think where this is heading by the end, it feels like he's definitely setting off on his own here.
Yeah.
This.
I might have benefited from this read having not read Name of the Wind yet and only seeing the Harry Potter movies, which I know is going to get me a lot of flack. But I think my read benefited from not having those books behind me in a way. I feel like my experience with this felt more fresh because I hadn't seen it really done before. That said, the films of Harry Potter were running through my mind as I was reading this as well.
Yeah, I do like Q. Quote this: the ultimate theater kid. That's so true.
Flaming hot takes too.
Yeah. But I look. I look for me. Name of the Wind is the prose is so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
I
I think
also
I'll
think
like it. I haven't read it
Islington's
yet.
I also think Islington's prose is very good. I enjoyed it. I
I
think
liked it
he
too.
was pretty sharp.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would prefer Rothfuss's prose because to me, I have to go back and read passages over again. Like that is
Mm.
something else. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chance, just read the opening to The Name of the Wind.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
read
Roger
the
that.
first
Yeah. Read the first page and
the first
just-
15 pages, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. Got it. I'll do that right now.
Yeah. Just go leave the stream. That's your homework. What do you guys think of the mystery aspect to this? I think because we kind of have an initial mystery, right? That where we are sort of being introduced to everything. That's like there's a mystery driving why we're going here, right?
Yeah.
And then as he's there, we get this deeper, bigger mystery. So we're kind of layering the things on top, and I found that to be, in some ways, really engaging and really great, and in other ways, I was like, really, is this how this is going to happen? Which I can explain that better in spoilers, but it was,
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a hit and miss reaction to it personally.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was not surprised by anything. I'm pretty.
Same.
Oh, at all?
I recall pretty much saying, "I know what's happening with this character, and I was right,
Oh.
and I know what's going to happen with this, and I know where this is going, and I was pretty much right every time." That doesn't mean I was not bored with it or anything, but I did. I don't feel like it takes a detective genius to know where the story is going and where some of the ahas are. I don't remember really being surprised by much, to be honest. I like the way he handled it all, but I kind of knew where things were going.
Sure.
I would say 95% of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have to completely echo that until that 5%. But
Yeah.
I did actually like the mystery portion of it because it was instigated and pushed by kind of an older character that I could attach myself and kind of feel his loss and feel his angst and feel the weight of the years and why he would push Viz into this very precarious situation and continue to leverage the pressure on him in the ways he did, which got very unseemly for a character. Hard to root for a character doing that, but at the same time, I could understand after suffering loss and being where he is in life. So I found it a bit motivationally complex, and I liked the mystery because it stemmed from that older character, which I felt had a bit more gravitas than some of the school-age characters for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Chance, you have anything to add to that, or
No, I mean, you guys said it all. Yeah, I think the mystery part was the very end was shocking
Yes.
to me. I was like, really, in a good way. But yeah, the mystery throughout, it sort of felt like a background thing a lot of the time, just generally. And then the characters themselves, like you guys were saying, I feel like I was sort of picking up on the pieces of what was being laid out pretty, and again, not a bad thing, but was picking it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I agree. I just, I guess where I'm coming from when I say some of it, I don't know if bothered me is the right word, but there was a lot of a certain thing that they would do at this school.
Oh,
that I was just like, this is what we're doing. Like, it just felt kind of weird to me. It just felt really shoehorned in. And like, it's not that it wasn't cool. Like, it was kind of fun to read about. Like, that'd be really fun to do in a video game or something, right?
Yeah.
I was just thinking this is a very video game inspired thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just kind of, I just kept having, every time it came up, and it came up a lot, I was just like, man, really? Like, this is okay, and like, it's not that it doesn't, like, I guess it makes sense, sort of. I don't know. That'll be easier to talk about when we can actually spoil it. But
There were a couple aspects of it that were very video game like for me, which is not the part that I loved. And that was one of them, what you're talking about, Jake. And then the other is just the levels. While I do like how Islington handles the idea of hierarchy in a general way, having these very distinct levels, like this level has this much power and this level has this much power. That's not necessarily my thing, but I know that's fairly popular. That kind of leveling up sort of thing.
Sure.
So it wasn't my favorite aspect, but it's another thing that made me feel like it was a little more YA. Actually, was the incorporation of these video game elements. But
Yeah.
maybe that was just me.
No, I can
I
relate.
found the parallels between video games. There's several points, not just one, that are quite reminiscent of video games.
Yeah, yeah, which isn't bad, right? It's just
Oh, I'm not.
you know,
I love them. I'm not saying anything discouraging, but I did see those parallels.
yeah, for sure. And Philip, I can relate to what you're saying about some of the like having the levels there. I'm totally cool with that. It was just sort of like, okay, this person has 8 people seating to them, and this person has
Right.
16 or 30, and it was all very specific, which
Yeah.
I will admit leads to some pretty interesting things
Mhm.
when there's a very specific number of people who are responsible for things.
Mhm.
You know, how do you make sure there's that exact number of people, right? That can lead to some interesting
Right.
stuff. So I get that, but it did kind of make me, I don't know. But I did also appreciate how all of that stuff was so ingrained in the world. Like I
Yeah.
said this about Chance's book too, and Philip, your book does this. John, your book does this. Like when the magic and the everything is just tied into the world, the history, the characters, the decisions they make, the ramifications, like that is that makes the magic so much better for me personally. It's not just there to be cool. It's there for deeper reasons. So I did really appreciate that about this stuff.
Yeah.
For me, the magic system really worked. I thought we got to really some dark explorations of how it worked. I love the way what they used it to do, for the mobilization and the forward momentum of society, and why people would sign on to give this up of themselves to live in a world where these things kept moving forward in this way. Basically held up a little bit of a mirror to me, like how much am I giving up to have expediency in my life and be comfortable. And so I loved everything about the magic system. I thought was very well done and very well layered, and it made me question a lot of things. And probably it was one of my favorite parts of the book, I would say. We can get even more specific when we get into spoilers, I think.
Yeah. Are we teetering on that line currently? Do we
Yeah,
think,
I think so.
I think let's get to this one question really quick, and then let's just jump in. I say.
Sure.
Asking if any of us have read Lit RPG or Progression. I have tried a tiny bit, and it wasn't really my thing. I tried
have
Dungeon
not.
Crawler Carl and fell off on the
I-
audiobook. So
I have read the first 2 books of Dungeon Crawler Carlin and enjoyed them quite a bit.
Okay.
Philip?
Yeah, I've read a couple and bounced pretty hard off of them, but I'm gonna try Dungeon Crawler Carl, and
New achievement.
we'll see. We'll see.
I think I'm going to
see what
try.
happens there. I think the less it feels like a video game, if it's lit RPG, the more I'll probably like it. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I just started to learn how to listen to audiobooks, so
Yeah.
I can learn new things maybe.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try at some point. Iron Prince is one that I have like in my cupboard, and then there's a few that Brian has shouted out that have drawn my interest enough to like want to read them. It's just one of those things that is just going to be on the wayside until I'm like, you know what, today's the day. But yeah, no, I have not.
Sure. I'll try it again at some point. I want to give it a really fair shot. I got to at least finish one of the books before I can have a strong
That's fair.
opinion.
I enjoyed the first 2 quite a bit. I think they're actually really fun.
I think reading
And even
it'll be
more
better
than
for
they've
me.
got some layers that aren't beyond fun. So I really enjoy.
Yeah,
I enjoyed.
that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me struggling with audiobooks and struggling with lit RPG was not the best to do them both at the same time. Maybe read the physical book and we'll see how I get along. Shane can't wait for Philip to
Shane's
love
here
DCC more than Malazan.
Malazan.
A sure thing.
His next top
Just
10.
shove them down. Just move them to the side.
All right, guys. Should we get into spoilers?
Time.
All right, now everyone's gonna see how badly we remember all these names.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Just how much Jake hated this book.
I'm going to see if I can very quickly throw up a spoilers
Oh,
banner.
that's like a thing, huh?
Does
You
it
got
work?
a spoiler? You got a spoiler banner?
Well, we can just wave our arms. Spoilers.
Oh wait, that kind of shrinks the whole thing.
Spoilers.
All right, that's lame.
That's all right. No
All right,
one.
here.
Make us. We're small.
This is
I'm,
your.
I'm not getting muxed at least this way.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
here it
dodging.
comes.
Oh
You're
yeah,
getting
Chance
mucked.
is behind the Ev mucks.
Yeah. The whole time.
Yeah, I don't like that so much about this platform, but oh well.
Yeah.
Okay, you have been warned. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you have not read the book, appreciate it. Read the book and come back. It really is great. And then if you,
it's absolutely worth a read.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
No choice. Yeah.
If you have read the book, let's get into it.
Let's get into
Okay.
it.
So, Chance, do you want to pick up on kind of where you were leading there, or do you want to?
Well, if we're going straight into spoilers, I mean, I don't necessarily. I want to kind of separate from magic, and I want to just immediately bring up the back half of the book. The back.
Okay.
What 10%? I'll talk about the Transvex attack first. Let's do that. Let's do that because I feel like that was like I feel like the Transvex were like one of the coolest things about this world. And then also its relation, like we were talking about, to Will. I don't know. I think that's one of the, like you were saying, the magic system being such a big part of the world was one of the coolest parts about this book. And that Transvex attack and what we see. I'll say this: the arrow that stunned old Keyscore and him waking up and being like, "Oh, everything's fine." Like that's a little, I can see that kind of draw me away for a second, but suspension of disbelief came right back, and I was like feeling pretty good to go. But yeah, the Transvex I think was one of my favorite parts of the book.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that part was the introduction of. We don't know her as Relukia at that point.
Right.
As Ulkiskor's wife.
Yeah.
Right.
We see her as one of the leaders of the rebels. The what were they called again? The rebels?
Anguish.
The anguish.
Yes.
The Anguis. Yes, the Anguis. Which I keep wanting to pronounce like a French word.
Ennui.
Ennui.
You're just that sophisticated. That's
Yeah.
why.
That's why. I'll go with that.
That's the Tweed taking over.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked actually her character a lot. And that was a cool introduction to her. And then I kind of saw her being turning out to be Relukia, but at the same time, I like how it was handled.
Yeah.
I was there for that. I liked the tension that we get through that character because obviously you're wondering, well, what are her allegiances there? And the tension that she introduces into Vis's life as somebody who's being pulled in all these different directions. You have all these different masters that you have to serve. And how are you going to balance that? So that's a really brilliant storytelling device, is to have your protagonist be pulled in all these directions and have to figure out how am I going to navigate this, right? And she introduces a really key aspect of all that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely love that. I'm echoing everything you guys say. And just when we're to that point in the book, I was just absolutely loving this power of will being used for mass transport. How do we get food out to the edges for these people to eat? How do we keep the empire surviving? How do we keep the wheels rolling, the trains running on time? It's what people give up to do it. Very much like, I like roads. I'll keep paying my taxes. Very much like these things that how much of ourselves, how much of what I have am I willing to give up to community? And in this case, it's flat out on the bottom rungs, like a couple years of your life there towards the end, right? But how are we going to live without mass transport, food, all these kind of things? And he was layering this magic system in so hard into all of the foundational building blocks of this empire that I really, really like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really also enjoyed the what was the place called where there was essentially like a terrorist attack from this.
The Colosseum.
Yeah, that was at the big Colosseum.
Yeah, that were sort of like, at least I was at the time. I'm not entirely sure who is actually the good guys and who's actually the bad guys.
Yeah.
Which I love that dynamic in a story.
And that question stays.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yes.
And seeing how, like, what Vis was trying to do. And see, this was like, again, this was one of those instances where like we get a lot of darkness in parts of the story, and like this is bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is really bad.
Yeah.
And everyone's just running for their life, and like saves the girl, right? I can't remember the girl's name, but he like helps her get out.
He takes her down to the sewers.
Is it Equa?
Yeah,
Begins with an I.
Equa?
that sounds right.
Or it's not Equa? Is it AE? Is that not it?
Something like, yeah, because it was
Oh
like,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's
Okay.
the one he meets later on at the festival.
You're right, Chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
that's right.
training with him, and
Right.
they were together. Then he goes down to the sewers, and he's like, "Sorry, I had to poop that whole time."
Sure.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. That's a lot of
And then
poop.
she
That's
later-
it. No, that's exactly it.
That's
Yeah.
my interpretations.
There's
Yeah.
a period where he kind of thinks she's betrayed him, and it turns out she's actually a pretty
Yeah.
loyal friend at
at
the
the end,
end.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, bothered me.
Oh, I
That
saw
he was
that
loyal?
coming.
The reason it bothered me is because this kind of drove me crazy the whole book, because I was like, this guy, he's always the best at literally everything,
Yeah.
and he just happens to know how to do these things, and that kind of bothered me a little bit anyway. And then we get to the end, and he finally made a mistake. He misjudged her character, and she betrayed him. But then she came right back, and he was actually right the whole time. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like I just, that really frustrated me, because I just wanted to see him do something wrong.
Yeah, I kind of got some Paul Atreides from this in a lot of ways, of just like having gone through what he went through, and being able to. I know maybe it's manipulation, but I didn't really. I feel like that maybe is just me taking it a bit too far. But yeah, I get why you'd be frustrated by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was definitely Teflon. I mean, nothing was gonna.
Yeah.
You know, you've
Yeah.
got the school trope of like you've got to get up the levels to be at a certain place to, find out what happened, the demise of the senator's son, that why he was sent in there, and
Yeah.
so he's going to be the best at dueling in this way. He's going to be the best at running the gauntlet. He's going to be the best at, I mean, whatever it takes, he's going to be the best at.
Yeah. You just reminded me of another thing. Okay. Maybe I didn't like this. No, I did like it.
You hated it.
So we're in the duel, right? Which, first of all, was really fun for me, because I just think about the midnight duel chapter in Harry Potter and how fun that was to read it, and like it was fun. So I was like, okay, cool, here we are, and we're like dueling with these animated suits of armor or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool, right? But there were things about it that I was like, this doesn't work, because like they're standing back from each other and the armor's in between them, right? One, how do they see each other to know what to really do? And then there's a part where he like jumps on top of him and he's punching him in the face. How does he jump on the ground and he's punching the ground? Like, I don't get how this works with how he's controlling the armor. And I was just,
no idea.
yeah, I was like, something about this doesn't seem to quite fit, and it took me out of it a little bit. Am I just overthinking it?
I think the main point of that is we're seeing this is Will, here. We're
Man,
seeing his determination, which is what keeps getting him on top, that this guy may have more skill at this particular little, activity or whatever you want,
Sure.
dueling with this in this fashion. But this has so much grit, then he's gonna come through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about the mechanics of it. I didn't think about it too much, honestly.
Yeah, me either.
It was a touch a little bit where we started off, which was him like, really fighting to the death in these pits. That, what he was having to do to survive after what happened to his family, and he's come to this part of the world, and working in the prisons where he, when the very beginning they go down and see that prisoner that's locked up just being sucked dry, like all these dark things and all. I was. And we go from like fighting in the pits for your very life, and it's like you hit the school, and it's like it's that removed video game duel a little bit, and it just felt. I mean, I can get it there at school. You don't want all your students to get whacked, but from where we started to where we got, it felt I don't know, a little bit safe, a little bit.
Yeah. And also, I think part of what was jarring for me was just like the initial impression. It was very dark. And it was very starting off right out the gate, and it's the hand-to-hand like fist fighting where I thought was really well written, really well described. I pictured it so clearly, and then we get into the school, and like you're saying, it's the tone is way different. Now it's like kind of game-ish stuff. Like it just felt really jarring, and then it gets really dark again, and then it goes back to this.
Yeah.
And which maybe was intentional, and maybe that was just, I don't know, but it
I
felt
think
a
there's
little.
that duality is there for me too, and I think it might be a flaw, but I do want to praise this book and the author's skill. And one of the things I think he does really well is he has so much tension in all these characters, and it's executed really
Yeah.
well. Like we've already talked about this, and his drive for vengeance for his family and his kingdom, at war with his need to fit into this society in order to achieve that vengeance, and he's constantly questioning himself. What am I becoming? There's just a ton of tension that's built into this character magnificently, and he's getting to know these people at this school, and then there's like Amisa, the we already knew what was going to happen with her. We knew she was being used by somebody to get to this. We knew that the whole time, but does she genuinely care for him? Of course she does. So there's the tension there. Or the tension of one of the characters I really loved too was the Lenistia,
yeah.
the one who was blinded but uses her will to essentially do a daredevil kind of thing. She's like daredevil.
That's right.
The senator that sent him in, his like right hand, like he was great.
Right
She like trained him. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So she is serving that Ulkiskor in order to use this kid. And yet you can see her becoming, as hard as her exterior is, you see her becoming attached to this kid and trying to look out for him. And just everywhere you look, what Islington does beautifully in this, and I think that's one reason people love this book and feel hooked to it and everything, is that there's constant tension with these characters and conflict within these characters. That's done really, really well in here.
You're absolutely right.
Not a character you can name that you can't say, oh yeah, there's this conflict. Even the secondary characters, Calidus, he's got all kinds of conflict and tension because he's staying back on purpose. Why is he doing it? Well, we find out he's being blackmailed by that Belly character, but at the same time, it's really well done. That's a thing that I love about this.
My favorite part that really upped the tension like that for me is that section of you can't go home again when he goes back to his kingdom that he's fled with the school trip, and all of that weight and what he's left behind and how he gets recognized and all of that tension that's building in those moments, how he knows the currents around and how he saves his friend and things, and the tensions that's building between the people that are still serving in the castle that he was an aristocrat growing up in. I thought that section to me really sung. There was such great tension there. I really loved that portion.
Yeah. Also, when he kills Estevan or Melior, the leader of
that was great.
I mean, that's talking about that may be the most conflict right there. Do I kill him or not? If I'm killing him, what am I betraying? I have to do it because I have to keep putting on this mask in order to achieve the long goal. And of course, Estevan or Melior, he knows exactly what is going to happen, right?
Yep.
He's kind of set this thing up. So this poor kid is. I mean, that's just really well done. Really.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Seems like the school portion was the least enjoyable part of the book in a lot of ways.
I will say for the school portion, I had a hard time connecting with some of the school kid characters, but it was executed so well.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the kid that was just way out of the social vibe, and because he was from a different place and looked down on, and you had all the archetypes, and he executed it very, very well. And it didn't sing to me as some of these other parts did. The beginning really sang to me because it set up this truly dark world with this magic system just interspersed throughout every layer of this stratified culture, and the cost it takes on the oppressors and the oppressed. And then, once we hit school, that part did not quite sing to me. But then like Dr. Chase says, plenty of tension for every character, plenty of conflict for every character. And then when we took that school trip towards the end, that part absolutely sung for me. I would say the portion at the big Coliseum where he had to step up and, like you're talking about, he knew what he was doing. He's making the grand sacrifice, but this kid doesn't know the weight he's going to carry. so much of it did, like, I was just like this, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I think also with just the whole time, this, like, he's infiltrating the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's in the academy and like in the hierarchy, right? Like, he's sort of in a weird third, because Anguis is opposing the hierarchy, right?
right,
And Vis is kind of on the outside, like, hey, we do need to oppose them, but you guys are doing this the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so, like, that tension I think is huge. Or you're talking about all the school kids. Like, I loved when he sort of made friends with what was the big kid's name who couldn't speak the language? Aiden,
I think it's
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That they eventually were both like, oh, we both just hate this teacher, and let's make fun of
Yeah.
him in the language because he can't understand.
Yeah.
That was fun.
yeah.
And seeing them learn to work together in the labyrinth thing, which I had a hard time with the labyrinth. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
See,
It
but
was
that
cool,
was
it was
another
fun.
video game parallel, wasn't it? Like,
It was.
you've got to get better and get better and get better and level up at this
Yeah.
will-driven American Ninja Warrior
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what it did to me is it was another Harry Potter moment for me where I was like, oh, this is the Triwizard Tournament, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
we have this thing that we do not want people to find.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Oh, let's put a video game in front of it. I'm like, really?
here's-
That's how we're
But in this case, it ain't just Cedric Diggory who bites it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. but then by the
Right. But I'm
end,
like, why the video game thing? I don't know.
but then by the end, it totally, when he does the real
Because
deal,
the real maze, this is all.
Oh yeah. The real
as
maze
it
is
turns
great.
out, the big mystery part of the big
Yes.
mystery. It's all basically training these kids in order to get them somebody who can do the real maze, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get to this
I just
Yeah.
other world or whatever is at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
That
Which is
real maze
awesome.
scene was awesome.
It's
yeah.
awesome. I don't know. I just feel like there's there's got to be some other kind of like magical, like I think about the Aes Sedai trials in Wheel of Time, right? Like some other kind of magical trial that
Yeah.
would kick me out of how dark it really should be, where I'm just like, oh, this feels kind of gamey and I don't know. But I also love the mystery aspect. Like the Guardian character would like say very specific things. And I was like, oh,
Yes.
this is, and it was slowly unraveling. This is cool, right? And
yeah.
so I don't know.
I
Conflicted.
loved, like, that's why, I mean, if we're going to talk about the end, like, that's why I immediately ordered book 2. Like, when I
Yeah.
felt like I
Yeah.
got to the last 10, 15 pages, it's like, now I know the book James Islington wants to write.
John, the
Yeah.
horror fan, right? The horror.
Yes!
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
what is this? Are we looking at alternate timelines? Are we looking at alternate realities? Are we looking at cosmic schisms? Are we looking at different things bleeding through? Like, who are these people that will take you through the maze? Are they? Where do they come from? Where do these echoes come from? What timelines? What histories? Because you get a different one every time. It looks
Yeah.
like they truly can suffer death, even though they're just an echo. So there's so much going on here that by the end where we hit, it's like now he's completely off the rails, inventive. This is his story that we had to create this concrete, tangible reality to get to where we're going to break it all and have fun with the pieces. And when I got to that
Yeah.
part, I was like, now I see what this guy has in mind, and I'm all down with it.
And you
Yeah.
can't tell me nobody expected that Ulquiscor's brother was actually dead.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We all knew he was going to turn up somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good reminder that it's more than one book.
Yes.
Just, like
Yes.
just even early on, all the things I think that maybe we do or do not have gripes with will probably come up in later books and be like, oh, I feel like we're going to get some of that. This is conflict, I think, also is one that, because Philip, you're talking about him being pulled in different directions, and then he has his own motivations that I think might be the most competent, at least through the eyes of Vis's, like his own eyes. He sees that this is like the way that needs to be. This is what needs to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I think that part we're going to see the evolution of his character going into the second book, especially with now. Well, I obviously the Vis we know in. That I can't wait to figure out like how they communicate or if they do at all. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead, Jake. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean to. It sounded like you had something more exciting than I did.
I'll try and keep it. Go ahead.
John always sounds excited, Jay.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say, so we have 3 Visses now, right? Is that correct?
And
And how it's split?
I thought 2.
Or is it 2?
2. Yeah.
I'm trying
2
to
at least that we know of.
I
It
want to
might
double
be
check
infinite.
this.
It might be dark, like it might be infinite, but 2 that we know about.
For some reason, I had in my head that it was 3. Chat, help me out. Am I the only one? Maybe I was just wrong. But anyway, so I was just trying to keep it in my head, and I'm hoping that what we can see in book 2 is that Vis finally struggles with something and doesn't have the answer to every single thing. That's what I'm hoping for as he learns.
Definitely.
That's why I wanted you to go first, because I see, like, what if this is all book 1 is this, trope after trope, comfort food. I'm in this. I've seen this. This is my biscuits and gravy Southern breakfast that I've loved all my life. Yeah. And then by the end, it rocks. Everything is torn apart, and you've got nothing but pieces left of this. It's completely different. I'm wondering if book 2 is like, all of that is going to get torn asunder. Like, Vis is not going to have all the answers. Like, all of these things are going to start to tumble that he set up. And I mean, that was my question.
Yeah. So the consensus is that it could be 2 or 3.
We have conflicting answers in the chat.
Oh, wow.
Some people are saying 2. Some people are saying 3. I thought it was 3.
I
gotta double check.
Q says 3.
Yeah,
Shane says 2.
That whole sequence of like running through it, I just like had those like beating drums going like during his run toward where he was headed, and then like that immediate like stop when he sees Belly like hanging on the wall, and I was like, oh yeah, this is sick. And then it's just like that slowed him down just enough that he, I don't know, I thought that was so sick.
Yeah.
And then we sort of, I guess, see him travel through whatever it is that creates this other Vis, right? In a way, I thought the writing on the arm, I thought all that was so cool.
That was great. Little memento moment.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so sick.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, Philip. I know you haven't read it yet, but this was the most shocked I was. This is the most shocked I was at something that happened at the end of a book since Howling Dark.
Oh, yeah. I think maybe I feel the same.
I was just like, what? Like I had to like recalibrate my whole brain.
Just the idea that he's, by making this sacrifice and going through that mechanism, he's entered this other world where we get this other Vis who doesn't have an arm missing and all that. Is that what you mean by whoa?
I guess I just mean I did not expect this thing to happen.
Okay.
And it just caught me completely off guard, and it was really cool. On a surface level. It
became quite sci-fi horror with all, infinite infinite Earth reality, I did not see of all the times through the book, I was like, oh, she's going to end up a friend. Oh, she's going to stab him in the back. Look out for her.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy that can't speak right will be his ride or die. Like all of those moments I had, right? And he purposefully, I think he's a craftsman to the point where he perfectly put all those stepping stones in front of me to where I'm just like, yeah, know what's coming. Yeah. And wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
I mean, it could be veering in a very cosmic horror direction.
That's what I'm there. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And much like Howling Dark, at the end of the book, it's like, okay, this is a complete new status quo definition of the world than where we started.
Nothing. That was pretty vague, I think.
No spoiler.
Okay.
That was pretty vague.
You're good.
From the wiki, Vis awakens in the chamber after running the labyrinth in the ruins. He's in, is it Lucium? In the
Lucium, I thought.
Third version of Vis wakes up in Obitium, where he's greeted
I guess
Vis number one is the one with the missing arm, then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, believe so.
I thought the one
he's
running...
in both places. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't understand the distinction between Obitium and Lucium.
Yeah, I think it's two. I think they're two separate dimension things.
End of the labyrinth.
Wow. And here I am thinking that he passed through it and then
came back.
Yeah. Okay, so it was a third version of him.
So 3 cheers for Jake.
Yeah.
I got it.
Huzzah.
I got something right.
One for each Vis.
That's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, people are agreeing with you here, lulling us in.
Yeah.
And then get us with that big twist.
I think book 2 is going to be so unhinged and deconstructionist of what we had from book 1. And this is why I
Yeah.
immediately ordered a signed copy for book 2.
Yeah.
Because I think he built a stable ground, so stable that I could see around the corners before I turned the corner.
Yeah.
And then the twist knocked me that hard because
Yeah.
of it. Because of it.
Yes.
So that was a craftsmanship that made me go, there is no way I am not seeing what comes after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't, even people that, even you, Jake, like you a
Who
lot of
hates
it
it?
didn't hit you. You had a lot of questions or a lot of issues or what. You have to admit, you're going to read book 2.
Oh, 100%. I pre-ordered it
Yeah.
immediately.
It's
Like,
a hate reading.
See? Exactly.
Yeah, it was still awesome. It was still, I had a couple issues with like just I guess like we were saying, like the mechanics of the suit of armor fighting or whatever. Like there were some things like that that just
Yeah. I had the same
you know.
thought. How do they see? How are they seeing?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of, but that's okay. I think some of it too was I was like this, at least up to that point, felt like he took Red Rising and Harry Potter, put them together, and then had some Sanderson sprinkled on top.
And
Yeah.
Name of the Wind. And
I
Yeah.
think Name of the Wind is really at the
So
heart.
much.
That's fair. I just haven't read that, so I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
Paul
you
Atreides a lot.
absolutely got to
from
read
this.
that.
Oh, I do for sure.
Oh, Paul
Um,
Atreides. There's so much
yeah.
coming of age. There's so
Yeah, I got Paul Atreides a
Yeah.
lot.
I did as well. I mean, think of a classic coming of age in the genre, and you can see a reflection here. I think
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. So there was so much great stuff that way overwhelms, I think, any of the little critiques that we've mostly me have have brought up, and it sounds like pretty unanimously the ending was really got our attention, and we're all definitely anticipating where it can go. Where are we at? I guess with how excited are we day one reading this? Are we just like, oh, hopefully kind of soon? Are we like, where are we kind of at?
I'm not putting down everything to go
Yeah.
read this on day one myself, but I will read the next book and hopefully talk with you guys about it.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But I again, this was not book of the year for me, but it's a really good book and entertaining and really well done. And I have tons of positives to say about it. So that's where I am.
For me, I don't think I'm day one just because there's some other things coming out in November that kind of rank up.
Dude, November's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Empire of the
Dawn, I think. with
Empire of the
Riddle?
Dawn.
Dawn,
That's
yeah.
a day one for me. Like, but how excited am I? I mean, it won't be like, I'm sure early into 2026. There's no way I'm not reading this because I think this has a chance. Like, and I've heard this about it's like Hannah's trilogy. The sum of its parts by the time you get to the wrap up and look back and see what it all is, like it becomes so many people's favorites. And I could totally see that building in this way.
Sure.
So I'm very excited to continue.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Early 2026, I think, is where I'll slot it. I still have to finish Empire of the Damned before Empire of the Dawn comes out. You just reminded me.
God, I can't wait.
Yeah, that one I think I'm going to be. I enjoyed Empire of the Vampire, so I want to finish that.
Yeah.
I want to be there for that trilogy when it's end.
I think I'm in the same boat, and I need to read both of
Shadows
the
of
Vampire
Time.
books.
We're all reading that day one.
Oh my god! Well, I'm being there.
Sure.
I
know,
You're reading on day one?
The end of the
Shadows
Sun
of
Eater.
Time.
Oh, I have to start Sun Eater.
You gotta
That's
catch up.
November.
Well, you have
got
a few months. You got to finish
a
the
few
whole
months.
series. You're going to meet us down in North
You're
Carolina.
doing audio now. You don't need to sleep. Just put the headphones on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Samuel Rao, the guy that does the narration for Sun Eater, I did the short stories and some of the novellas through him, and it was exceptional. He's very good.
Yeah, I've heard he's good.
I'll probably read it because if it's at all complex, I still want to read it physically first.
Yeah, it is complex.
It's a book that I've read before. I'll do it audio, or if it's a book that just is like a little more light and entertaining, I'll do it on audio. But
I think book one you might be able to get away with it, but I think beyond that you probably should physically read it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, we also have that new Malazan book right at the tail end of October, so we got time for that.
I'm excited for.
That's day one.
too.
Day one for Dr.
That's
King.
day one.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I'm reading Dead House Gates this next
Oh,
month.
right.
I'm
amazing.
way
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see. I cannot wait to see how you think. That's my favorite.
Yes. All right. Well, it
What
feels like
about
we're
you,
kind
Jake?
of.
How excited are you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I think I'm probably, I'm doing the Malazan book on day one. My goal is to catch up on the vampire books to be able to do the third book, because what everybody tells me, that book is written for me. Like, it's the perfect fit is what everybody says. So I got to be caught up for that one. That's going to be really long, I'm sure. So I don't think I'm going to be able to finish that plus book 2 of this before Sun Eater. Because Sun Eater has to be day one also. So my guess is that this book 2 is going to wind up getting kicked down the road until December, January, February, whatever, whenever it can.
Sounds like we're talking about it in January, February.
That's what it sounds like.
Early
Which is
26.
great.
That sounds
Perfect.
like we have to reconvene in 2026.
There we go. That sounds great.
See if Jake hates that one too.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Keep
Any final thoughts? Anything that we haven't touched on that you guys want to get in there? Or do you feel pretty good about leaving this?
I feel pretty good.
We didn't talk about the principalis, or the whatever, the guy who's in charge of the school. Is he as villainous?
Oh yeah.
Is he as villainous as we think, or is he actually just kind of a greater good guy? Or I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Also, the
I'm
Empire.
I'm saying greater good.
as a whole.
Yeah. The Empire as a whole is
it's horrible.
corrupt. It's
horrible.
evil.
Yeah.
The ripple effects of Aiden's family and his where he came from.
Yeah.
This and where he came from, and we're seeing the effect that it has on all the younger kids.
How complicit everyone is in the evil of the Empire, that they don't see how evil it is, and how it's hidden away. It's a great metaphor in a way for some, modern societies where a lot of the horrible things that go on are hidden from the majority of us, who just blissfully go on with our lives thinking, aren't we great, But there's some awful stuff that makes our lives possible the way we live them.
The way it is, horrible things that we give up of ourselves.
Yep.
And we do it willingly, just for ease and expediency and comfort. It's true. I love that about this. And I think this is going to happen. I think when we get, because we haven't got to the very apex yet of this hierarchical society. And I think when we get to the apex, we're going to find the whole thing is a flim flam job. There's not enough people.
Oh yeah.
There's not enough people seating upwards, and it's like none of this is as it seems. This
is going to be like a Wizard of Oz moment where
the power's real. It's not all humbug, but it doesn't work the way they've been telling everybody it works. People are paying a way worse price than they even realize.
We've met a Demidius, which is the second rank, but we have not met a Princeps or Princeps yet, which is the number one. Yeah, okay.
That's right. Yeah, and I'll be interested to
cover. Sorry, Jake, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just going to say quickly, it'll be interesting to see if this continues to go through the whole thing without dealing with the seeding and getting that power and all that kind of, or is he going to somehow be able to gain that power? Who knows? That'll be interesting to see.
Can he break the system, or is he going to be swallowed up by it?
Yes.
Find out.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Is there a fourth viz at the top of the
Maybe.
hierarchy?
What if it is? There's the big twist.
If they just blew it. If they just blew it for us.
I mean, honestly, that would be sick.
I would take that. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick.
I am yourself, Viz.
I also like this deluxe quote unquote edition versus I do like the other covers, but I honestly think I dig the cover we're showing here. I like that one, Philip, but I don't know. I just love the art here.
The Transvect is just too cool.
Yeah, the Transvect is awesome.
You guys all have the fancy one, and I have the ordinary one.
Yeah,
you know what?
I bought my sister the original. So
the reason I bought this one is because I think they said they're not going to make the rest of the series in the same matching set as what you have.
No, they're all this style now.
So they're going to be this style. So I went and bought this one.
My books are all so mismatched. So
yes, you're fine.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
If you at all OCD, don't look closely at my shelves.
I do. I am a sucker for a magic set. What can I say?
Same.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. All right, fellas. Broken Binding one. Yeah, that is really nice as well. The Broken Binding edition.
They always
they don't miss. I'm these days. I'm really trying, anyone with a connection to Petrick or anybody, get them to make Thomas Covenant books in the broken binding. I want that so bad. I'm
Well,
obsessed.
that would be a good. That
I'm
would
just
be a
putting
good
it out there.
call.
I'm obsessed. Trilogies, it works perfect. Okay, that's all I'll say. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was super, super fun.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of really great things to say about the book. A couple little things that weren't perfect, but overall, still awesome ride.
Yeah.
Crazy twist.
I think mostly you said about little things, Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mostly liked it the
Yeah.
least, I think.
I had a couple. I had a couple.
I had to guess.
But still really looking forward to book 2. That's going to be fun, and hopefully we can all get together again and discuss that whenever that time comes. And to the chat who helped prove me right that it was 3 Visses, maybe a 4th, who knows. But thank you for hanging out with us here. Anyone watching on the replay, thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment. If somehow you're not following all 3 of these lovely gentlemen, make sure you go follow them immediately. They'll be tagged in here. And I guess that's all I got. Thanks so much, everybody. And
Thanks for having us.
have a good weekend.
Sweet.
All right.